Hello everyone, my name is Ismail and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with a new tutorial for you. Today we are going to work on texturing this eggs. As you can see, we will be working with wood, leather and metal materials and learn how to create these materials with simple techniques. Okay, let's get started. I will start with the metal material and create this old iron. Then we will move on to the other materials. So I'm going to the library and using the ready-made substances. Therefore, I'm going to select this old iron material from the Smart Materials section. As you can see, this material is applied to the entire object and I just want to add it to the part I need. Okay, I'm creating a folder and naming it metal and placing my metal material inside this folder. Alright, now I'm adding a black mask for this folder and from the section from the polygons, I'm selecting this part. And I'm setting the polygons to mesh fill mode and be sure that this number is set to 1 for selection. And now I'm selecting the part I want by clicking on it. Okay, now you can see that the metal material is only applied to this part. Very good, everything is okay. Well, this is a ready-made material and I want to make some changes to it, okay? Yeah. Now let's go and change some setting and control them. I'm going into the material setting and I'm currently turning off this edge layer that was used for the edges of the work and I'm coming to the iron layer. Well, you can control the placement of the material by changing the projection mode. You can change their coordinates with these arrows and choose the placement in any way that's better. It can even be in UV mode here, there's no problem and it's okay. And you can see the difference between these two modes. For now, I'm leaving it in the first mode. I'm going to change the scale and set it to 1.5. Okay? And I'm selecting the same triplanar again so I can move the texture. By moving the texture, I can choose the best state. Okay? I think it's great now. In this section, you can change a series of parameters to get a different result. I'm increasing the contrast a bit, okay? I'm reducing the normal and high values to reduce the depth of the textures, okay? Do you understand what I mean? I'm reducing the high value again, and I'm also reducing the normal. It's okay now. Okay, I'm adding a level here so I can also control the color a bit. By changing these parameters, I'm slightly changing the color. I think it's okay now. These settings depend on your precision. Now, I want to give this X blade a different material because in reality, X blades are not like this and have a sharpened edge. And in general, the sharp edge of any object is different from its body. Okay, I'm going back to the ready-made materials and selecting a material. I think this one is okay. And I'm applying this material to the work. And now I want to have only the edges of the X blade of this material. Okay. First of all, I'm going to rotate these grooves and linear textures you're seeing a bit and change their direction. Okay, that's fine now. I'll also make the color a bit darker. I don't want it to be so bright. Okay. Now I want to apply this material only to the edges of the blade. I'm adding a black mask and from the effects I'm adding a paint. I'm increasing the hardness and I'm reducing the spacing. Okay, now by clicking and dragging, I'm selecting the part I want. It's very easy and not at all difficult. I'm making the size a little smaller. Okay, very good. Well, I'm selecting all the parts I want. I'm also selecting the other side. You can see how good it turned out. Great. You can even do this part much easier and faster by selecting the polygon and select the parts you want. Put the fill mode in polygon mode and very easily select these parts. This is also a suitable method and very easy. I did it with both methods so you can see. Okay, great. I don't need this paint filter anymore. I'm deleting it. I'm deleting it. The color is still a bit bright. I'll make it a little darker. Okay, now it's better. Okay, now it's time to add more details to this and increase the damages, the breaks, and the work details. Alright, now it's time for me to light up this edge layer so you can see the changes. I'll make some adjustments to it. I'll increase this amount a bit, okay? You can see the edges. I add a paint layer and I want to fix some areas. You see, I'm deleting the excess parts. I don't want too much damage on the edge of the blade. Okay, you see? It looks great. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Alright. Even these sections can be edited. Okay? I want to add some more details. I'm going to add a fill here and I'll search for grunge in the map section. And I'll use this map to add the lines and scratches to the work. I'll put the UV in triplanar mode. Okay. Well, we have a problem. The texture is reversed and I just want the lines and scratches to be added to the work. I'm inverting it to make it okay. I'm increasing the scale a bit. I think it's okay now. I'm increasing the bevel a bit to reduce the amount of scratches. And I'm also increasing the contrast a bit. You can see the changes. It's okay now. Be sure to set the mode of this map to screen mode to preserve the effect of the previous map. I'm adding a level and checking the changes again. Well, I don't want to have the edge of the work scratches. I'm adding a paint and setting the value to 0 to remove the extra scratches. I'm reducing the height a bit to control the depth. I'm setting it to 2, much better. It's okay now. Now I want to create a specific shape in this section. I'm using the alpha texture to do this. I'm adding my texture. I want to use this image. I'm coming from the material section and using this material. I'm adding a black mask and I'm selecting a paint. I'm selecting a desired texture and adding it to the stencil. Okay. I'm adjusting its dimensions. It's okay now. And now I'm creating the shape by clicking. I changed the height to make it more prominent. It turned out great. I'll increase the height again and the normal as well. I just darken the color a bit. Now it's okay. Now I want to add dirt to my metal. I add a fill layer. I choose the dark color. I turn off the normal and high. And I increase the roughness to make it matte. I add a black mask. I go to smart mask section and select this dirt. For example, this one. Okay? You can see the changes that have been applied. I want to change some of the settings a bit. I increase the level. I also increase the contrast a bit. And I try to achieve the desired result by changing the parameters. Well, I want to have the same dirt on the texture we created. For this, I add an anchor point in this section, and I add another fill and place it below the sharp. And I select the anchor point from the section. I also put the mode on the screen. From the level section, I can have more control. Well, it's okay now. Now I select this from the material section. I want to apply this rose. I add a black mask. And I also select the draping from the generator. I want to change the settings and have more control. You can see the changes. Well, it's pretty much okay now. I'm reducing this amount as well. I add another pane to control the edges. I remove these sections. This time I add the rust course. And I check its parameters. I'm adding a black mask and using smart masks. I think this one is okay. I'm increasing the contrast. I'm slightly adjusting the parameters. I'm making the color a bit darker. Okay. I'm increasing the depth a bit. Alright. For better details, I'm adding a filter and selecting sharpen, okay? I'm adding a paint again to control the edges and remove the excess parts. Okay, I still want to make some changes to these parameters to get a better result. Okay, that's good. That's much better now. Okay, by clicking on the random option, you can control the arrangement and distribution of these splotches. Okay, I think it's okay now. It's better. Okay, I'm adding a layer and selecting sharpen from the filter section. And to make this filter effective, I'm setting its mode to pass through. Now you can see the changes applied. I'm reducing the amount a bit. I'm creating a folder and moving these layers into the folder. Okay? So I want to create a wood material now. From the materials section, I'm adding a rough wood material. I'm creating a new folder and adding a black mask. And I'm selecting the part I want. I want to change the textures to vertical. I'm rotating it 90 degrees. Okay, now it's better. I'm slightly changing the color and making it brighter. It's good now. Okay. I'm adding a filter and selecting the contrast filter. I'm reducing the contrast and it's good now. I'm adding another filter, this time HSL. I'm increasing the saturation, okay? I'm creating a fill layer, turning off the high, normal, and middle, and changing the color. I want to create some fine textures. I'm adding a black mask, and I'm selecting a fill. I'm searching for noise in the texture section, and I'm selecting this one. I'm putting the mode in the mask state. I'm rotating the texture 90 degrees again. I'm increasing the scale to make the textures finer. I'm decreasing the balance and increasing the contrast. I'm reducing this amount as well to increase the stretch. I'm increasing the contrast even more. Okay? Now, all you can see the texture. I'm giving it a bit of depth to make it better. I'm reducing this amount as well. Now it's really good. Excellent. I'm reducing this amount as well. I wanted some more details. I'm adding a fill again, and I'm turning off all the options. I'm darkening the color. For example, this is okay. I'm adding a black mask and using smart masks. Okay, I'm selecting this one. Okay. I'm changing the settings again to get a better result. I'm adding a fill again, and I'm turning everything off again. I'm changing the color again. Now it's okay. I'm turning on the reference and changing its value. I'm adding a black mask and selecting dripping from the generator section. I want to create some dirt on the wood. I'm changing the parameters again. I'm also reducing this number a bit. Now it's okay. I'm also putting the folder name. I'm making a copy of this folder. I'm changing the color and editing it. I'm setting the mode to soft light. Now I'm adding a fill. I'm searching for wood in the textures. I will select this one. I will set the UV to the dry planar mode. I will rotate the texture. I will tile it. I will increase the scale. I think 2 is more suitable. Okay, that's good now. I will add an anchor point so I can make changes to the textures. I will add a filter and select the option for the back to reduce the contrast. Now I will add a level and adjust its parameters to control the contrast. That looks great, okay? I will add another filter and this time select blur. I will reduce the amount. I will also add another level and adjust the parameters. Now we have a nice wood grain. I will add the wrap filter. That's good now. Now I will add some depth to the textures to make them look better. You can see that it looks great. You can change the texture from here again, okay? So now I want to create some tracks. I will add a fill layer and I will increase the roughness and also select a darker color. I will add a black mask and select the fill. From the textures, I will search for scratch and select the direction of the scratch. Okay, that's good. I will rotate the texture again. And I will increase the scale. Okay, that's good now. I will increase the balance and contrast. Can you see? Yes, you can see the tracks now. I'm adding a bit of depth and I'm adjusting the amount. I'm putting the mode on multiplay mode. It's great. I can still adjust the numbers. It's okay now. Yes, very good. Let's add another fill, and this time I'll search for grunge. And I'll select this one from the grunge, map number 5. Okay, that's good. I'm putting the UV on the triplanar mode. I'm changing the scale and I'm reducing the balance a bit and increasing the contrast. Okay, and I'm putting the mode on linear dodge. And you see this new texture alongside the previous textures. It's very good. I'm reducing the amount. It's good now. And I'm adding another fill. This time I'll search for noise. Okay, I'll select this one. Well, I'm putting the UV on the triplanar mode. Then I'm rotating the texture again. And I'm reducing the balance further. I'm increasing the contrast and I'm putting the mode on subtract. Okay? Yeah. With this texture, I've slightly controlled the previous textures. And I'm also reducing the amount. It's okay now. Yes. Okay, I'm adding another fill and turning off middle and normal, adding a bit of depth and using a bright color. Uh, I'm adding a black mask and selecting a mask editor from the generator section. Okay, I'm changing the parameters a bit. I'm applying these two map sections so that the changes are applied based on those maps. I'm increasing these values. Increasing the contrast. Activating the second texture as well. I think 98 is okay. You can see the changes. Reducing the global balance. It's a bit too much. Okay, you can see the changes. It's very good. Yes. I'll reduce this number a bit. I'll create a new fill to add some scratches. I'll choose a very dark color. I'll add a black mask and select a fill. And I'll select the scratch from the garage section. Okay, very good. I'll increase the contrast and I select the triplanar. I'll set the scale to 3. It's okay. I'll make the lines a bit shorter. I'll control the parameters. Okay, you can see the scratches now. It's really good. Great. From the materials section, I'll add a draft and set the scale to 2. And I'll rotate the texture 90 degrees again. Okay. And I'll set the mode to multiply. Okay. Our wood has become quite dark. I'll reduce the amount. Alright. Uh, it's very good. Okay. The wood material is almost okay. I want to create some text and shapes. So I'll import the textures I need. I'll come here and add a fill and create a dark color. I'll turn off metal and normal. I'll also add some depth. Okay? I'll add a black mask and select the add paint. And now I'll use the map to create the pattern. I'll adjust the size. Okay, it's good now. And by clicking, I'll create these patterns. Okay, I'll set the mode to multiply and reduce the amount. I'll add a filter. I am using the ramp filter and you can see the edges. Okay, I am adjusting the levels. I am also reducing the depth. Okay, good. You can see the wood material. It looks very good. Yes. Alright, let's move on to the leather material. I am creating a fill layer. I turn off the normal, metal and high. I select this color. I create the folder and move the fill layer into the folder. I add a black mask and reselect only the leather parts. I want to use a variety of textures for the wave. I import the textures and I create the folder and move the fill into it. I add another fill layer and only turn on the high option and increase its value. And I add a black mask to the high folder. Now I add the fill layer and I use this texture for the wave. I set the projection to triplanar and I change the scale around 1.5 is okay. I add a level and adjust it. I increase the depth. Okay, that's good now. I create another folder and I add a fill layer, and this time I want to control the roughness. Okay? I turn everything off except roughness. I think this is okay. I add a black mask and add another fill layer. I use the same texture again. I add a level and now I come to control the contrast. I select the mask so I can see better. I actually want this highlighted part to just get the shine and the cracks and depth to remain matte. Okay? So it's pretty much alright now. Well, I'm adding an HSL filter from the filter section. And I'm increasing the saturation and decreasing the lightness. Okay, I'm adding a black mask and adding a fill. And using grunges, I'm applying a grunge map to it. I set the projection to triplanar. Changing the scale, I think 6 is okay. I'm reducing the balance and the contrast as well. darkening the colors a bit. You can see it, okay? I want to darken these tracks and this depth a bit more. I'm adding an HSL filter again, reducing the lightness a lot, and adding a black mask and adding a fill. I'm copying the same map I used before and using it here. Adding a levels adjustment. Okay, now the outer areas have darkened. I'm inverting it to darken the depth. Working on the details again, reducing the lightness even more. Well, it's looking really good now. Okay, I want to darken the leather edges a bit more. Adding a filter again. Increasing the saturation and decreasing the lightness. Adding a black mask, and from the effects I'm selecting the add generator and adding a curvature. Changing the parameters. Increasing the contrast. Trying to get a better result by adjusting the parameters. Okay? That's good. Now you can see the edges are a bit darker. Very nice. Okay. I'm adding a fill and want to increase strength a bit. I turn off the normal and I increase the roughness, and I also darken the color a bit. I add the black mask and I come to use the smart masks. Okay, I think this will be good. I just changed the parameters a little bit. Okay, it's fine now. Well, I want to increase the details of the edges a bit more. I select this from this section and I darken the color. Okay, I increase the scale. Very good. A little darker. It's okay now. I create a new folder and I add this to the folder. I add a black mask and I use the smart masks again. I control the settings and I darken the color a bit further. Uh, I add another fill and I use the textures. I use the scratch texture. I select the triplanar. I think 3 or 4 will be okay for the scale. I change the settings a bit. I set the mode to screen. I add a generator and use the metal edge. I set the mode to screen and I also decrease the amount. Well, I use the filter sharpening to see the details better. And finally you can see the leather material. Well, it's okay now. Okay, I also add the metal material from the materials section for these buttons. I just apply it to the same sections. Okay, that's good. Well, our work is done. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was useful for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also don't forget to like and comment. Until the next tutorial, goodbye.